Music for this week of the podcast is brought to you by me. This is me. I just released a new EP. Uh, yeah. That's pretty much it. Enjoy the podcast. Sure.
Yeah, it works.
Sure.
Oh. All right. Hey, everybody. just so
the
y'all
last
know.
40 minutes
Yeah.
trying to figure shit out technically.
My computer was being a dingus, so this one might be a rushed one, or it might just be a laid back one.
It's gonna be lackluster. I'm just, you know what? It's been 2 days since we last recorded, and I ain't learned shit.
Hey, you told me you were gonna learn shit. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
then I realized 2 days is not a long time, and so I watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think this is funny. So my dad I was like, oh, Dad, I'm gonna be recording downstairs, just so you know. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna be wrapping presents. So like, you're not allowed to leave until I'm done wrapping presents. So if we have to record, 6 episodes, we might have to do that.
Jesus.
It's
a lot of episodes.
I know, but we could get ahead of the curve. I only have one in the back burner that I can throw on, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, ahead of the curve. We are this is like episode 7, yeah?
Episode 7, yep.
It's episode 7. We just released episode 1. We are 7 weeks ahead.
That was just because we released very late, but it's okay.
That's because we planned to release after, because like if you record and release like week schedule, and you record and release that week,
there's just a lot more pressure. Yeah,
it's so much easier to mess up.
Yeah,
it's so much easier to mess up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you record, I don't know, 5 in advance and then release them when you feel comfortable that you edited them properly and and feel like they sound okay, then yeah,
that's the key.
Shoot.
All right. You went first, so this is Monday, by the way. You went first on Friday.
Yeah, I did go first on Friday.
So sounds like it's me going first today.
Cool. And we can just talk about yours for like 40 minutes.
Okay, all right. Also, dude, okay. So my brother had these Gatorades in the fridge, right?
Yeah.
And they were all like kind of weird ones, and I was like, why are these here? And so he hasn't drank them since the summer, so I stole one, and it's green apple. And it's just like the most vibrant green.
Does it taste bad?
It smells like green apple Jolly Rancher, and it tastes like nothing. Like it literally just feels like water, and it's like a LaCroix but Gatorade form.
It's so weird. It's probably like
it's
so much
weird.
Worse for you than anything.
I know. I'm sure there's just like straight high fructose corn syrup in here or something like that.
Yeah. That's not good. It's bad.
Hey, I'm looking at the ingredients. Hey. It's just water, sugar, dextrose. Sweet, yeah. No high fructose corn syrup. We're chilling. Just a bunch of colors.
Yeah, but the second ingredient was sugar, and it doesn't have flavor.
And?
And?
The entire bottle is
it just green water?
The entire bottle is 96% of my daily sugar intake.
What?
Or maybe it's added sugars. Oh yeah, it's not. It's 18% of my total carbs. 96% of my added sugars. Yeah, that's why I'm not drinking the whole thing. Don't worry.
Wait. How many carbs are in the bottle?
50 grams and 48 grams of sugar.
What the fuck? 50 grams of carb is enough to like completely fuck up my diet.
Well, that's just because you're like avoiding carbs.
Yeah, but like
so
I can have a few carbs, right? I can have a few carbs here and there, and like can't have very many. But if I had that one drink, it would like kill me. I would shit myself probably.
Yeah, avoid the green apple Gatorade is what I'll tell you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like 90 calories per serving on the front, and then it's like there's 2.5 servings in the container, and it's a lot of sugar. All right.
How is that legal?
The nutrition facts.
How does the FDA
really
allow
their
that?
Shit.
They really do. I got this bread recently. I got this keto bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
and I have no fucking clue what it's made out of. It says it's made out of like, it says wheat on it, but I don't believe it, because it's like 40 calories a slice, right? And it's
That's pretty nice.
It's 12 grams of carbs, but it's 12 grams of dietary fiber carbs, which are like carbs that don't really count because they're dietary fibers.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's 0 net carbs per slice, but it makes no sense because it tastes like wheat bread. It looks like white bread, and it feels like gluten-free bread.
Is it just like? No, it's not cauliflower. I was gonna say it's like the mod pizza bread, but that's just cauliflower pizza, isn't it?
Cauliflower pizza's good.
Oh no, I have no doubt that it's good. I've never had it.
It's fucking
no
banger.
All right,
man. Now I want fucking pizza.
Hey, you got this, man. After we record.
yeah. You want to go get pizza?
Actually, dude, there's this thing that I saw that I just thought about this, and I was going to tell you about it earlier, but I just thought about it and need to tell you about it now. This person on my Snapchat posted on her story, and it's like sweats that say "Pay me in pasta" on them, and I really want to get them for you.
No, please don't. I would never wear them.
I asked her where they got them from, and she hasn't responded, but it's okay.
I mean, has she opened it?
No.
Oh, okay.
So there's still potential.
Yeah. So there's still hope that I get my pay me in pasta. I don't want those.
We should make those. We should get merch that's just really cool sweats.
What if we just sold socks? What if we became a sock
What if we
company?
just sold my socks?
You might make some money from some people, you know?
That's true.
You might like find someone who's like, yes, I want to buy used sock.
Oh. Why were they Russian?
They weren't Russian. They just didn't.
They definitely had an accent.
They had an accent, but they weren't Russian. They were like fantasy Russian, you know?
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
If Lord of the Rings had Russian people, it was them.
Okay. All right.
We must go to Gondor.
They did have Russian people. Those were just the orcs, but yeah.
Orcs aren't Russian.
That's just. I never honestly read or watched Lord of the Rings altogether.
Hey. Lord of the Rings, right? Mm-hmm. Honestly, Sauron, not that bad of a guy. He united all the races that men said were bad, right? And Sauron's like, you know what? Fuck racism. And we hate racism in this house.
That's true. We very much disapprove.
We are fans of Sauron.
All right, I'll stick behind you because I don't know who that is, but
Sauron's
Is he the big eye thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of the main villain, but like.
How is the big eye thing a main villain? That's the real question.
Because it's made of fire. Duh.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know that fire equals bad?
Dude, what about in Ben 10 when he has the fire alien? Come on. They're not all bad. They're not all bad.
Didn't he, like, immediately set the forest on fire?
Hey. Don't talk about it.
Didn't that happen?
And then that was like episode 1 of Ben 10.
Yeah, and then Frankenstein's like, fire bad. In the movie, at least. The book's pretty good. I like the book.
Lord of the Rings or Ben 10?
Frankenstein.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, alright.
What were we talking about? We were talking about Gatorade, and then all of a sudden
we haven't actually had a topic yet. We're just talking about shit.
No, but Ben 10 was a great show.
Dude, we should have an episode talking about Ben 10 and like everything that happens.
The end I see what it did. It sucked itself upon his wrist of secrets that it hid. It's such a good theme song.
That's the theme song?
Yeah.
I guess I never really like thought about the Ben 10 theme song.
Yeah, I had it on an MP3 player when I was like 10.
It's a banger. I see it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're going to get into it because today's topic is actually pretty good.
Is it Ben 10?
No.
Shit.
It is fracking.
As in, like, when they dig for natural gases and it gets into the water supply?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Obviously, it sounds like you're not a fan of it, right? Is what I'm hearing.
I'm not a fan of it because
Okay.
it's poisoning people.
Okay.
Or
I need you to outline why you dislike fracking really quick.
Well, okay, right. So it's like digging for natural gases, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
In areas where there are natural gases.
Yes.
It has potential. I mean, okay, natural gases, good to harness, right? Good to harness. They're natural. They're natural. Yes. However, we should harness them in a better way rather than damaging the earth. No, it's like we talked about it in my geology class, like fucking earthquakes and shit.
Okay, so this is why I asked.
You can induce an earthquake.
Yes.
If you frack too much.
I did a report on fracking over the last quarter, so this is why I feel like I feel qualified enough to talk about it, and also think it's important to talk about because a lot of people dislike it or are fans of it because of their political values. They feel like whatever political side you're on.
All I know is this one
support,
lady drank her tap water and it was full of gas and she caught fire.
That
just seems terrifying. That's just terrifying.
That I didn't even know that. I was mainly reading about what actually fracking is, but I'm sure there's a lot of news that goes on. I didn't look up a bunch of stuff like that.
Anything that endangers the populi is bad.
Yes.
In my eye.
Fracking, what is it? So fracking is what happens is they drill down a couple kilometers into the earth where they think there's shale gas. Or shale rock that has natural gas stored inside it, and then they horizontally drill once they get to that rock and create basically just a little tunnel, and then they put a bunch of water in there, millions of gallons of water in there, to pressurize the tunnel and fracture the rock that's in there, and then with those fractures the gas can seep out and it mixes into the water and they can pull the gas and water out. So what happens is...
And then it cracks into the water supply of the neighboring villages, and the people get sick because they drink natural gases.
What happens is sometimes that gas can fracture the rock fully, which can cause it to seep into aquifers and places that people get their drinking water from. So it's not just, hey, the water automatically goes into those places. It has a potential to do that because fracking is done poorly typically.
I mean,
because the
process sounds efficiency. Very lackluster.
Well,
let's just drill into this rock and pump it full of pressure.
So there's a lot of ways to make it better, which is what my report was on. Is how can you fix fracking and make it so that it's sustainable in some way?
Do it next to an aquifer.
Well, dude, if you're going underground in Ohio and wherever everybody,
just move everyone out of Ohio. No one likes Ohio anyway.
Nobody lives in Ohio.
I have friends who live in that area, and they're like, yeah, we hate it here. They probably hate that they have gasoline in their water.
Hey, but it's where LeBron's from, right? So we can't abandon Ohio.
Yes, we can.
To continue on fracking. So yeah, that fracking happens in the U.S. a lot in the Midwest because that's just where the natural gas is stored within the rock. And that's also where the largest aquifers in the U.S. are, which is why it poses such a big environmental issue and why a lot of people are against fracking.
The aquifer in Texas was so big until the Great Depression.
You should see the amount of water that we draw from groundwater. It's kind of insane how much groundwater
we're
we
destroying California for almonds.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic that we'll get into. Yeah. Don't worry.
my geology class was environmental geology.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I took a groundwater class in the spring, and then I just took a geology of earthquakes and a geophysics and tectonics class. So I did a lot of earthquake and this kind of analysis this quarter.
Yeah, are you ready for us to all just be washed off into the ocean?
That's not how it's gonna work. But
I mean, Portland has potential.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. No, I will talk to you about the Cascadia subduction zone earthquake.
Portland's fucking going. It's fucking dipping. Whidbey Island gone.
Dude, Whidbey maybe. Whidbey.
Yeah, Whidbey Island's fucking gone. It's made of sediments. There's bedrock only at one point of the island.
Yeah. The
fucking
safety
gone.
is that it's actually part of like the North American plate, and it's pretty deep inland, all things considered. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be hit too bad. It might be hit with like a large wave of water, in which case the ground might be affected.
Japan? Fucked. Japan's gonna get hit by that tsunami that we're gonna create. It's gonna be bad.
What are you talking about? We're gonna create? It's just gonna happen.
we by we I mean like geographically our location.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't you know that I am one with the earth? I decide whether things go.
Okay. So fracking. So yeah, why don't people like it? So a lot of this stuff is from BBC because they had an article that kind of discussed fracking, and I'm going to talk about how we can fix it or do things to improve it once I finish discussing this. But why don't people like it? So it uses a butt ton of water. Like, it needs to be transported to the site, so that takes a lot of resources, and then once the water it becomes contaminated with oil, and so you can't like use it for anything else, right?
Yeah,
so it uses a ton of water. It's a waste in that aspect, but you're also creating a gas that creates half as much, or not creating, but you're retrieving a gas that is half as much CO2 release than coal, which is like the main energy source that we use, right? So you're half as much, and the U.S. right now has like 100 years. U.S. and Canada have like 100 years of gas security because of domestic oil production and fracking. So it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily the best thing, right? Also, like I said, aquifers are like the important piece that people miss. And some people worry about earthquake potential. But what happens with earthquakes is fracking doesn't really cause them. There's been a couple like magnitude 3 or 3.5 earthquakes. But most of the time, the bigger ones are caused from just wastewater disposal, which is a different type of like fracking system. You basically drill holes and just put water in there.
When you frack in the Midwest, there aren't plates there to actually cause earthquakes.
Yeah, exactly. So
they have to be intraplate earthquakes.
Yeah.
But it's not so much earthquake as it just creates tectonic activity by the drilling process itself.
Yes. So there's a little worry from that, but really it's hard to create a big earthquake unless you're really close to it, unless you're really close to a big city or something. But it's kind of actually pretty hard to create an earthquake, and a lot of people.
If someone just fucking drilled into the fucking San Andreas fault, just for funsies.
I mean,
and was like, let's create earthquake.
The San Andreas fault creates enough earthquakes on its own, buddy.
Hey. San Francisco, built in the bad area, okay? built in an awful area.
Basically, all of California was built in
Mexico City,
area.
Built in an awful area.
Oh yeah.
Awful area.
Awful.
Japan, they built in bad areas.
They should not have built there.
Yeah, like there are just places around the world that are like, oh yes, let's build here, and then earthquakes happen, and then civilizations come back around. They're like, oh yes, let's build here again.
I mean, the real thing was like we built next to water so that we could do ships, but now we don't really need ships, so we can just move away from the water.
But like Venice is like, ah yes, we're sinking.
Dude,
they destroyed their aquifer.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going wrong in where we choose to build places. But that's
my
another
geology
issue.
Teacher hated Venice, just off of principle alone.
Dude, there's places in Mexico that are sinking like a couple inches a year.
Yeah, it's fucking what happens when you build on soft ground.
Yeah, that's literally what my major is.
Your major is don't build on soft ground.
Yeah, my major is, hey, let me check this dirt and see if you can build here. If I say no, don't do it.
Well, it's like the fucking a lot of the like United States used to be swampland, right?
At one point.
Like down south and like the middle part of the like East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And we called in a bunch of Germans to like fucking drain the swamps because they're good at it. And then we decided to build there anyway.
Yeah, dude. Screw what the scientists say. Let's be. I don't even know. It's not efficient. That's not really anything. Let's build where we want to.
Yeah, you know what? Build in the swamp. Who gives a fuck? It's not like, lives are on the line. Future lives.
Future.
Which are arguably more important than current lives. But you can't get future lives without current lives, so it's like a paradox thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's a what's I can't
A
remember what it's
dilemma.
called. Yes. Oh shit. Well, I tried to pull up my old paper that I wrote over the quarter and it didn't work. But I'll just remember everything that I wrote about.
I wrote a paper about volcanoes once.
You should talk about volcanoes next time.
Dude, I can talk about volcanoes all day.
So yeah, those are like the negatives and positives of fracking, right?
Wait, I didn't hear any positives. Hold on. All I heard was lot of water waste.
A lot of water waste potential. Okay, here I'll
Damage
list them
to
off quickly.
aquifers.
Negatives: water waste, damage to aquifers, potential earthquakes, but really they're pretty small. All right.
But it's
Positives:
technically.
we've got an energy type that produces less carbon dioxide than coal, and we've got a 100-year supply of natural gas domestically, which we can produce, which also lowers the cost of gas for U.S. citizens and people in the U.S.
Okay, see,
So those are the benefits. Okay.
I hear you on the whole gas thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I like go up a peg and say, what if you just stop using gas?
Well, I would love that.
Yeah, what if you just stop using gas?
That's a whole other issue, though. We got to spend, billions of dollars to do that, which the government could do, but
Yeah, the government
it's an issue that we don't need to
do.
get into. We don't need to get into it right now. You can watch an ASAP Science video on how solar energy works and how we can do it.
No, I'm not talking about solar. I'm not talking about wind. I'm not talking about hydro. I'm talking about nuclear.
Oh, nuclear is a whole separate thing.
Yeah. It's hella clean energy.
It is, but people are really afraid.
We just
of having
don't want
it
to
near
talk
us.
about it.
People are just really afraid of having it near big cities, which is understandable, but it's another issue that we can discuss.
We have fucking like submarines and battleships out there that have nuclear reactors on them, and people don't care about those.
Well, those are underwater and not near people.
They're still like near enough to where it would cause some radiation damage. Like if there is a nuclear sub off the coast of Georgia that is like abandoned and still nuclear.
I mean, what do we do about that, though?
We don't touch it.
Exactly.
we don't touch it because there's no one down there to man it, which means it's volatile or whatever.
Yeah, it's not really.
But the thing is,
good to do
if
anything
you
about it.
get people that know how to like actually operate that kind of system, it's so safe and it's so clean. You just gotta have people who are smart operate it, right? You can't have the homies from Chernobyl working at it.
I'm gonna shout out the show Survivor here and say that that's just not the case, man. I was watching Survivor once, and it was like it was the one on Netflix. So it's like there's the brains, the brawn, and the beauty were like the three tribes. And the brain tribe had this one girl who was a nuclear engineer, and she was just the dumbest person in the entire show. It was rough.
Well, then there's no hope for us if our nuclear engineers are just idiots.
It was rough.
Because
Anyways.
in the right circumstance, nuclear energy is the cleanest. The waste goes back in on itself, and it refuels itself.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It has to be like in the
Kinda.
right hands, and we have to figure out the right process.
Yeah, we've just never like done it intelligently.
It's hard to invest a lot of money in something to do research on, without assured money, and also big gas corporations control a lot of the energy.
Hydroelectric is pretty Gucci. I'm a fan of that. I like dams.
Yeah.
Like,
I have buddies who are working on like wave energy converters and stuff.
Yeah, like there's so many like good alternatives to gas.
But big gas companies are there to run the show,
Yeah,
Anyways.
I saw this one thing on Twitter that was like, it was the Shell company. It was like, what would you do to help reduce pollution? And it's like, are you kidding me, right? It's not the commuters, right? It's not cars that are the problem. Cars are like a fraction of the green not greenhouse gases, the like carbon emissions. It's the big companies that are producing the carbon emissions, like all the big corporate scums.
Yeah.
Like BP and Exxon.
Well, actually, as a civil engineer, I can say that like concrete production accounts for like 12% of something.
Really?
Carbon emissions.
Concrete production?
Yeah, it takes a lot of carbon, or produces a lot of carbon to like create cement.
Like actually?
Yeah. But there's no good substitute for cement, right? We don't have something that can like replace that at the moment, and so we exist in a weird state where we're in the process of developing all these things.
You just use,
but they're just not developed yet, and so we're stuck with kind of old time stuff.
What if we did rudimentary cement? Like we went back to like
the sand from Mars.
No, like you know how like the fucking Romans built shit with like concrete?
Yeah.
What if we just like what if we went back to that?
That would create a lot more jobs, but they'd be a lot less.
It'd be great for our
efficient.
economy and for the planet.
It would, but companies wouldn't make as much money. And hence
I know. I hate the idea of there can't be like progress without profit. I hate that idea so much. It's so stupid. It's why we're gonna die by the year 2055.
Hey,
if not sooner.
We're gonna turn it around, man.
I think we're past the point of no return.
we have like 7 years until it's inevitable if we stay on this pace.
Once Greenland fucking pops like a pimple, we're fucked. Like actually. Once all those hidden gases just pop their way out and just ruin everything.
They just need to turn it into like Iceland and do a bunch of geothermal energy.
Not turn it into Iceland. Iceland's the one that's not covered in ice.
No, but they need to like use, because isn't Iceland the one that like produces basically all of this energy through geothermal conversion?
Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know.
Reykjavik is in Iceland.
I have no idea, man. I watched the Down to Earth documentary that Zac Efron was a part of, and I think
I watched Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh, that's historically accurate.
It's the same thing, right? Let's go to Reykjavik and then go down a hole, and then let's find a fucking dinosaur.
All right, back to fracking before I forget about the topic. So obviously you dislike it for the reasons that it hurts the environment, but in some ways it makes it better. In some ways it makes it better. In some ways it makes it worse. So that's like one of the trade-offs that people do. Now, ways to improve fracking. This is the research that I was looking at.
But like, if it was done better.
That's what I'm saying. This is like how you can improve it. So what you can do is what's called cyclic loading, which is there's not as big of a fracture, so it's harder for the fractures to go deep, and they're also straighter, so you kind of control the fractures better. So you insert a bunch of water and create a lot of pressure, and then like release it all over a set period of time, and then you like repressurize a little bit higher, and then decrease again. And so you like do cyclic loading until it cracks, and usually that crack is straighter and not as like wide, and so gas doesn't need like a wide hole or wide fracture to get out of, obviously. And so those thinner fractures allow for less harmful pieces, and they can still have the same production rate, technically. The problem is it uses a little bit more water and takes a little bit more time.
You know what? The using more water part? Nah, I don't like that.
Everything comes at a cost, buddy.
Yeah, but like... it ruins the water.
It does.
You know? It like fucks up the water.
But if you think about it,
it's not good.
You could use a desalination plant and take seawater, and then that water now, if you can put it through a purification process once it's done, or you can just store it underground. Either way.
What if we just like used a different liquid?
That's an option, you know? You'd have to find another plentiful liquid to use, though.
Piss. What if we use piss?
That would honestly probably be good.
Yeah.
It would just we could use that as oil, honestly.
I'm telling you. The benefits of using piss.
Please list them.
It's not water that like you can drink. Well, I guess you can drink piss. People have done it before. It's sterile. If you need to like perform a surgery and you're in the woods, you just piss on your knife and you're good to go. You piss on the wound, you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's a great indicator to see if you're healthy or not.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it totally is. It totally is.
Yeah, like if your piss is brown, you are super dehydrated.
Yeah, that's typically I don't have brown piss, but yeah, you're right.
I've never had dark colored pee. Never.
You drink a lot of water.
I drink a lot of water, but not too much water. My piss is never clear. Clear piss is bad. That means you've taken all of the. I'm talking about piss too much.
Let me look. I finally got the paper to open. So yeah, there's the cyclic loading. There's also fracking itself doesn't really produce a lot of large magnitude earthquakes. The biggest one that I have shown on here is like a magnitude 3 earthquake. But the wastewater disposal ones, which are pretty similar, those ones can produce up to like a magnitude 6 earthquake along those faults. Let's see. We've got also, as a side note, I was looking at Audacity and it said it wasn't responding, and I'm kind of concerned. Is it recording? Oh, it's recording. We're good. It's moving now. It just like said it wasn't responding a second ago. Woo! Woo!
Okay, thank God.
Praise Jesus. Where was I? Oh yeah, looking at this. You might have to cut a second while I read. I don't remember where things are in my paper.
Well, while you're finding that, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Would you rather be bitten by 1,000 snakes every minute of your life, or win millions of dollars every millisecond? But in the second scenario, you are also a bird.
I'd rather be a bird, dude.
You'd rather be a bird?
Yeah, why not? What's there to lose?
Oh, I mean, you'd be fucking arrested for tax fraud.
What?
How does a bird make $1 million every millisecond, huh? That fucks up the economy.
It sounds like you're doubting my ability to evade taxes.
No, I'm just saying, they'd find you. The IRS has their way.
I'm a bird, dude. I'll just look like a pigeon and walk through New York and nobody would find me.
No. You don't get to pick the bird. I'm gonna pick the bird for you. I'm gonna go to a random bird generator.
Random bird generator? Also, I found the fracking thingy. So, I will say, like you were saying, they actually really just need to like slow down the process a little bit. The level of fracturing and all that stuff, which leads to larger earthquakes and things like that, is correlated to the injection rate and the amount of produced wastewater. So like the faster you're pumping, obviously the more wide the fractures are.
Right.
And thus the more damage you can cause. Which leads to seeping into aquifers, earthquakes, things of that nature. So if we slow down the process, make the energy companies spend a little bit more money, and make them do it right, fracking could be more efficient and a better alternative than CO2 production. Obviously, we're still using a lot of water, and that's not necessarily great, but it is a thing that can occur and can be done.
The random bird you got was pink-footed goose.
Bro, why would I say no to that?
Because you're a goose. People hunt you for sport.
Bro, nobody hunts me.
No, they hunt you because you're a goose.
I'm gonna create my own goose colony.
They hunt you because you are a goose that produces millions of dollars.
But then I stop producing millions of dollars once I'm
yeah, but like no. they shoot you on the wing, right? You can't fly away, and then they capture you, and then they have a fucking golden goose situation where you're just sitting there producing money for them. This is why Jeff Bezos is so rich. He caught the goose.
We should have thought about this back in episode 5.
Oh my god. Jeff Bezos caught the goose.
But in terms of fracking, that's all I wanted to talk about with fracking. I just wanted to like put out the idea that like not a lot of people actually know what goes into fracking. They just assume it's bad because of what they see on the news or what they see on whatever on social media or whatever. So if you want to know what it is, that is what it is. It's, you know, injecting a bunch of water to fracture rock and get gas out.
See,
and there
even
are certain
explained
goals.
like that though, it doesn't sound great.
Okay, it doesn't sound great, but it's like technically more energy efficient and environmentally efficient. So that's how you learn about it. I'm not saying I'm trying to like stay
But with the way it's currently being done,
I guess bipartisan. I don't know what the right word is.
you're saying
I'm
it
trying
has
to be like
potential
without a
to be
side.
good.
It has potential to be good. It's
It has
also not the
potential.
best option, is what I'm saying.
The way it's
there.
currently being
Yes.
done is bad.
Yes. It's not optimum, is what I'll say.
They're poisoning their people. They're putting chemicals in the water, turning the frogs gay.
Whoa, man. Whoa. We don't even talk about gay frogs on this channel. That's a whole other issue.
You haven't heard the Alex Jones meme?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
Dude, I don't hear a lot.
You were out of the loop.
I'm pretty isolated. Talk to my dad, and he's just on Facebook all the time talking to his friends.
Okay.
So.
Next question. Would you rather have a free house, free food, and every single one of your basic needs completely covered for free? Or would you rather have an army of 1,000 loyal dwarves who will do whatever you command?
Only 1,000 though?
That's 1,000 people in the workforce for you.
But they could die, and then I'd run out of dwarves.
Oh, no, they do whatever you command. You can just say, don't die.
What? Can I say produce more dwarves for me?
I mean...
I've got an infinite supply
Yeah.
of dwarves.
So my thought was, go out, dwarves, get jobs. Become a company for me.
Nah, man. What you do is you have the dwarves just produce a bunch of other dwarves, and then you take over Europe.
Why
It's kinda-
Europe?
I feel like they got a nice variety. I don't know.
Why not, like, the world?
I don't need the world, man. I don't need to be a dictator. I just
You
need
have it.
Europe.
No. Who said anything about dictatorship?
That's true.
I'm
They
taking
take, o-
over
they
the
take
world,
over
and
Europe
we're all
with their dwarven
communists.
niceness.
Everyone, because of the way the dwarves are, there would be a dwarf station. It doesn't say how like battle ready these dwarves are, but like, yeah, like let's say we put about 7 dwarves in each country, right?
Mm. That's
And,
about right.
Yeah, about 7 dwarves in each country, and these dwarves, they like, you know, make sure people aren't doing crime. They're like dwarf superheroes, you know.
They're dwarf police officers, buddy. You just described
Not
dwarf
police officers. Not police officers. Like, no. They don't, like, stop people from doing drugs and shit. Like, if they see someone, like, committing, like, murder or committing, like, assault, they, like, walk up and they kneecap them with their little axes.
They kneecap them. They don't cap them. They kneecap them.
Yeah, they don't kill. Dwarves don't kill.
No, that's right.
My army of dwarves are just there to pacify.
They're like Batman.
I would say they're a little bit more mentally stable than Batman. Man's rich and was like, oh yes, I will now beat up poor people. I don't like Batman.
I can tell.
But like these dwarves would be like, oh no, this person is being assaulted, and they'd run up and they'd be like, yeah. And then they like hit him in the knees, and then they'd fall over, and then they'd just be like, stop assaulting people.
Sounds like
Fucking dwarf.
perfect execution. That sounds like it would work 100% of the time.
I mean, picture like Gimli right at you saying, "Stop the assault."
I just pictured Gimli the counselor. It's like, what?
Picture Gimli running at you saying, "Stop the assault."
That'd be so dramatic. Wow.
But think about it. Like, I sure as hell wouldn't assault anyone if I was being ran at by a dwarf yelling "Stop."
No, I would allow it.
Would you? So you think you'd pick the 1,000 dwarfs over having a free house, free food, and everything single one of your basic needs completely covered for free?
I honestly forgot about the other options because I heard the 1,000 dwarves. I was all in.
Yeah, I pick the dwarves too. I want a little dwarf country.
Dude, I was gonna say if you own just like a good,
like chunk of land.
Yeah, chunk of land. I don't know how much an acre is. I really cannot
Be a
picture
dwarf.
that
An acre would not be big enough for 1,000.
No, I know, but like I don't know if it's like 1,000 acres or if we need like 75. I don't know, but it's something like that, and you could probably buy that.
See, dwarves they excel at like mining and digging, right?
Oh, so we buy land into the ground, not on top. Of the ground.
We live vertically. We build up and we dig down, safely, of course.
Perfect.
We make sure
just
that
not near the coast, so that if there's a tsunami, they can't. They're in their underground layer is not just flooded immediately.
We go inland Canada, middle of Canada.
Yeah. Middle of Canada.
Yeah, the dwarves know how to dig through permafrost.
The dwarves actually use that to their advantage.
Yeah. It's their battle tactic. Dwarves it is.
Bro, they're not battling, they're just chilling.
They'll never betray you. That's like the bonus is that they're always loyal.
Not like these hoes.
They're smart. They're loyal.
They're dwarves.
It's still smart and loyal.
Yeah. Alright, hey. I'm gonna be honest. That's a nice 42-minute episode right there.
Am I just gonna end it at they're smart, they're loyal?
They're dwarves.
They're dwarves.
No, we can have a little sign off right here.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. This one obviously was kind of just a chill.
This one fucking the shit.
We got into it, but also it was more chill and there was like not as much going on. Like it was kind of one topic.
I talk about dwarves.
We also touched on dwarves. We also touched on geese. We also touched on Gatorade. We also touched on Ben 10. But the key...
We touched on a lot of things.
...is to just have a good time.
Yeah,
we hope you did.
Just talk about stuff.
Talk about stuff. Learn about things. That's what we're here for. Hope you have a good week.
Yeah. Drive safe.